Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. It's your girl KenyaMicheall, and if you are returning, it is so nice to see you again. Y'all, as you can tell by the title, I freaking got bamboozled. Like, what the heck? I got bamboozled. It's crazy, y'all, but we're about to get into it. So go ahead and get comfortable. Grab you something to drink, grab you something to eat, because things are about to get juicy. Things are about to get a little bit interesting, but let's get into it. So a little ways back, once upon a time, I was bored and I didn't have nothing to do. I didn't have nothing to do, y'all. And I had this friend back then, and at the time, she was on dating apps, right? Now, mind you, during that time, I'm not really like an outside type of person. I'm really like a homebody. So back then, she was more so always popping out, like going to parties and stuff like that. And I was always like tucked away, just in the house. She found this app. I'm not gonna say the app because I don't want to discourage people from having their own personal experience with the app. I had my experience with the app and I would just keep it at that. But let's just say the app was called Leaf. We're gonna say Leaf because clearly that's what I'm surrounded by right now, so it just makes the most sense. And this was just your regular, normal dating app and things of that nature. And what was unique about it was that it really focused on matching you with people in your area. So it was really local, which was nice because, again, if you don't go out much to meet people, you won't meet people. I got the app and everything, and I liked it. My friend, she was using it, and she was on it for a little bit, and then she was telling me about the people that she met, and she was just like, yeah, you need to look into it. I think you'll really like it. Whoopty whoop. So then I looked into it and I got into it, right? So I downloaded the app, right? And I was really reluctant because I've never been big into dating apps and just apps that connect you with other people. I always thought that was weird. Like, me personally, I've always wanted to meet my person organically, like in a grocery store, at a gas station, and stuff like that. I just thought that, you know, on the app, it wasn't really organic, right? But anyway, she talked me into it. I got the app. I made my profile and everything turned out fine at first. And there was this one individual that stuck out. You know, this person seemed like a decent person, nice profile, you know, attractive physically and stuff like that. And so this person piqued my interest. And so they ended up messaging me after we matched. And we just started messaging each other and we started talking back and forth. And then the conversation came up for dinner, like a date. And I agreed to it and I was just like, yeah, like, why not? So I ended up getting ready. Didn't really have my hopes up here because I'm gonna be honest, again, you just never know what to expect with those apps, right? I honestly thought that I was gonna get catfished. So I wasn't trying to get my hopes up. It was more so like, okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and get myself together and hope for the best, pray for the best. So I got myself together and everything, and then I met up with the individual, and true enough, it was the same person that I was texting on the app. So I was like, whew, okay. You know, we out the red. He was a gentleman and stuff like that. And we went out to this place. We ended up getting sushi for our first date. I don't know why I said first date, like we went on multiple dates. It was really only one date. And we started talking to each other and everything. But y'all, what was really interesting about this, when we were eating sushi, I have this habit of, when I talk to people, I look in their eyes, right? Like, I make sure that I make eye contact with people. And when I was eating with this individual, something that was really interesting about him was that as I was staring into his eyes, the Holy Spirit was literally talking to me and telling me that this person is hiding something. This person has a secret, right? And this came out of nowhere. Like, it was out of nowhere. He didn't say anything to indicate that he was hiding anything. There was none of that. Like, there was no red flags, but the Holy Spirit was definitely talking to me and telling me that, hey, this person is hiding something. He has secrets. Loud as day in my ear, y'all. Clear as day. I just kept that in the back of my mind as we continue to talk. One way or another, it's gonna come out. The truth is gonna come to light. People can lie all they want to. They don't have to tell you a thing. But one thing about the Holy Spirit gonna show you. And that's exactly what the Holy Spirit did to me, right? It was just really ironic the way that it happened. We got to the end of our date. We finished our sushi. We called it a night. And that's all that happened on the first date. And when we seen each other for the first time, right? Nothing crazy. I thought it was a nice guy after that. But again, my intuition was going off like, okay, something is not right. He's hiding something. Continue to text after that. And one night, he ended up saying like, hey, like, did I want to see a movie? And I was like, yeah, like, no problem, right? And mind y'all, before y'all get to judging and before y'all get to, you know what I mean? Like, I was younger than I was now, wasn't as wise. So yeah, you know, like in life, as you get older, once you know better, you start to do better, hopefully, right? So back then, I wasn't really the brightest. You live and you learn. So he ended up inviting me over to his apartment. He was saying at first that he had some friends that they were coming over and it was gonna be like a game night or whatever. And then we would watch a movie and stuff like that. And I was just like, okay, yeah, no problem. So I ended up going over there and his friends ended up canceling last minute for the game night. So then it was just me and him and I'm just like, okay. Like I'm looking like, okay, now what? You know what I mean? And so then he just opted to, you know, put on a movie and, you know, we would eat and just talk throughout the movie. And I was like, okay, we're in the living room, sitting on the couch, watching a movie, right? And I'm eating whatever I was eating. I can't remember what I was eating at the time, but I was eating whatever I was eating. And then all of a sudden, he looks at me and he was just like,
hey, you want to go to the water?
Now, mind you, where I was living at the time, we lived right by water. Like we lived right by kind of like a ocean, if you will. It was like probably like 8 or 9. And I'm looking at him and I'm just like, it's late. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, it's late. Like, I'm not trying to go to no water. But I was just like, whatever. And again, y'all, again. During this time, like, yeah, like, okay, let's go to the water. So I end up, you know, putting my jacket on and stuff. And then he's helping me grab my things. And in my head, I'm just like, it's late. Like, why would you want to go? And this was out of nowhere, y'all. Like, we're watching a movie, you know, talking here and there. It goes silent. And then it comes out of nowhere. Do you want to go to the water? Do you want to go to the beach? And I was, you know what I mean? It was just out of nowhere. So nothing like, some things were going off. Like, some red flags was going off. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why? We're coming out of the apartment, you guys. I'm in front of him and he's behind me because he has to lock the door. I'm walking down and then I hear him locking the door or trying to lock the door. And as I'm coming down, y'all, I see this, like, I get to the end of the stairs and I look to my left and I see this young lady. She's walking and she looks at me, right? And mind you, I have never seen this woman a day in my life. We look around the same age, y'all. We look around the same age. And, you know, she looks at me and I look at her because she's looking at me like she knew me from somewhere and I couldn't recognize her. She looked at me and she asked and she was just like, hey, are you guys together? And I looked at her and then y'all, and I was like, no, because mind you, we were still getting to know each other, right? There was no title, there is no relationship, there's none of that. And she was like, oh, okay, I'm his wife. Y'all, when I tell you, like, when she told me that she was his wife, I have to laugh to keep from like, in that moment, okay. When she said that, I turned around and I looked at him and he was literally as pale as a ghost. He was as pale as a ghost. Mind you, when I thought he was locking the door behind us so we can go down the stairs, I don't know if he like what he was doing, but I turned back around, like, mind you, because I'm thinking he behind me, right? So I'm coming down the stairs, this young lady coming to my left, and I'm thinking he right behind me. And when she asked that, he stared at the top of the stairs. He's looking down at both of us, right? And he looks at me and I look at him and he is pale as a ghost. Boy, when I tell you, she was just like, oh, she's like, I don't mean to intrude. It just really breaks my heart. Like, I'm not trying to get ahead of myself and I'm really trying to stay on the storyline. But when she told me that, like, you know, I'm his wife, she wasn't trying to comfort me. She wasn't trying to fight me. She was really actually sweet to the point where it broke my heart because I felt bad for her. Right? She really seemed like a sweet individual, And so she was just like, after she told me that she was his wife or whatever, and I looked at him, you know what I mean? Like, I looked at him, you know, kind of like for confirmation, right? Because I'm just like, I got to be in a movie. Like, I have to be in a movie, like, where the camera's at. So I looked at him for confirmation, pale as a ghost. That's my confirmation right there. So I looked back at her, and she was just like, no, I'm just going to grab a few of my things, and then, you know, I'll leave you guys alone. I'm looking at her like, no, please, I'll leave. You know what I mean? Like, I was just leaving. Like, I'll leave. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, that was ridiculous, y'all. So I'm walking to my car. And y'all, when I told y'all, it took everything in my body, because even back then, I was never a type of person that'll get outside of my body over something like that. Did I feel embarrassed? Yes. Did I feel dumb? Yes. Did I feel stupid? Yes. Was I hurt? Yes. Because I got bamboozled. Like, I literally got played. Like, that was probably the most humiliating point, or that was just probably one of the most humiliating experiences that I've ever been through. Like, seriously. And it took everything in me to walk towards my car and not do something that I was going to regret. Because even though I was upset, I was able to override like my emotions and make, you know, sound decisions, right? So I'm going to my car because I'm just like, y'all, I was like like, I felt like a fool. I done ran into this man's wife. Not the girlfriend, not the fiance, but the wife, okay? So I'm going to my car, and then I get in my car, and then he's behind me. Oh, now he want to follow me. Now he want to follow me to my car. So I'm going to my car, and I get in the car, and I close the door, and there he go, knocking on the window. So I rolled the window down, and I'm just like, you know, your wife is the other way. And then he was just like, I was going to tell you, but I knew you were going to act like this. And I'm just like, sir, how did you expect me to react? Like, I'm over here like, you have got to be out of your mind. You are literally out of your mind. So he was just like, I was going to tell you, but I knew you was going to react like this. I just didn't know how to tell you. And I'm about to get divorced from her. Like, right now, we're in the middle of getting a divorce, and she don't stay here no more. And y'all, the sad part about it is, he was really putting all of her business out there. You know what I mean? For the sake of the video, I'm not going to say everything that he told me about this individual, because he shouldn't have even been telling me that. We're in the middle of a divorce, and she don't stay here, and I was just trying to get you out of there because I didn't want her to pop up and see you. Then it made sense, because out of nowhere, you know what I mean, him asking me to go to the beach to try to get me out the way, so I guess that little trade-off, the transition would be smooth. It made sense then, because it was just like, maybe his timing was off, because he wasn't expecting us to run into each other. But even then, it was just like, you were married. You know what I mean? Like, you were married, and it's just like, for me, it was the principle. And that's why I keep saying, like, that girl had every right, you know, not to beat on me, right? Respectfully, not to beat on me, but she had every right to be upset. And the fact that she wasn't upset, the fact that she was more so just concerned and worried, like, I felt bad for that girl. And the Holy Spirit just was telling me that, like, you know what I mean? Like, she was being taken advantage of. The guy, like, I didn't say it earlier, but the guy, come to find out, he was actually in the Army. So I didn't even know he was military and stuff like that. He told me and stuff like that afterwards. But he was just like, he basically married her to use her to, like, not live on base, basically. He married her just to use her. And when I tell y'all, like, I was just disgusted, and I was sick to my stomach. But going back to when the Holy Spirit was talking to me, that's what he was trying to tell me. That's what he was trying to tell me. And y'all, one thing about God, he always looks out for his children. So even though it was unfortunate that that situation happened and stuff like that, in the end, the truth did get revealed and it came to light. But just after that whole situation, it was just like, I definitely was upset, because it was like, I just was embarrassed more than anything. And it just hurt me, because again, like, I'm not that type of woman that will knowingly go around and, you know what I mean, mingling with other women's husbands. Like, that's not of my nature. That's not of my character. That's not who I am. So to be put in a situation unknowingly, I was hurt. But that's the end of the story, y'all. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because I forgot to tell y'all. let me tell y'all something else. Let me just go ahead and tell y'all what happened after that, right? So boom, after that incident, I ended up blocking him. We never talked again. Like, y'all, look, I deleted the app. Like, when I tell y'all that was it, that was it. I was like, that was it, y'all. That was it. I ended up deleting the little Leaf app. That was it. That was it. He got blocked, app got deleted, gone. I was gone, right? So, y'all, fast forward. I think, I don't know if it was last year. Yeah, it was last year. Last year, right? I was like with my friend, right? And this unknown like caller kept calling my phone. It was like an unknown caller ID, right? And they called and hung up, called again, hung up, right? And I don't answer numbers that are not saved. If your number is not saved, I'm not picking it up. I'm not picking it up. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. Leave a voicemail if it's important, and I'll get back to you when I can. But boom, the first day called, didn't pick it up, and I was just like, oh, that's weird. Second day come, same thing again around the same time. No caller ID, right? So I was just like, oh, this is getting creepy. This is weird. Like, what is this? So I gave it to my friend. She answered it for me. And then I asked her to ask, like, who was it? And the person said their name. I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Y'all, guess who it was? Almost 2 years later, 3 years later. It was that person that was on the app that I was on. Girl, look, I ended up picking up the phone and I was like, you know, is this such and such? You know, just trying to make sure this is the same person that I ended up blocking 2-3 years ago, right? And then he was just like,
yeah, like, yeah, I miss you. And I just realized that when we stopped talking, like, we really did have something that was special to me. And I just miss you.
and woo. Then y'all, then he got the nerve to say,
I'm still married, but we still working on it. Like, I'm still trying to get the divorce.
y'all, why is this man still married and call my phone 2-3 years later talking about, okay, so after that, girl, hung up, because it's just like, y'all, something was loose up here. Something had to be loose. You feel me? Not just one screw, but several screws. Hung up, and then I was in disbelief. But anyways, y'all, that is now the end of the story. I just had to put that up in there because I almost forgot. The nerve, the audacity, right? But anyways, y'all, that was the time that a married man took me out, didn't tell me he was married, and then I ran into the wife. I ran right into the wife. Like, oh my goodness. But anyways, I hope that y'all took something from this video. If there's anything up in here that helped y'all, I hope that you apply it and use it in your life. If you enjoyed the story time, let me know y'all thoughts. Like, let me know how y'all feel about what I was saying, especially about like the military part. If you are not subscribed, if you do enjoy this content, go ahead and click the subscribe button. Leave me a comment below. And if you actually like the video, go ahead and just like the video. And I'll see you guys in the next video.